So you remember Ihlo's debut, Union. Well, 5 years later, they're back, and trust me, the new album Legacy is something else. It's bigger, it's darker, more ambitious, and honestly, it might just be the prog record of the year. Let's break down every track and see why this album hit so hard. Welcome back everyone, I'm trialling a new series of album reviews on Sundays that feature new releases from modern prog bands from the last couple of months. And today we've got a great one to start the series off with. Released on August the 29th, 2025 via Kscope Records, this album, Legacy, is not just a step forward, it's a giant leap. Now, if you know Ihlo from their debut album Union, you'll remember the promise, that shimmering atmospherics, the tricky rhythms, that blend of metal muscle and the electronic detail. Well, Legacy takes all of that and it goes further. It's bolder, moodier, more ambitious, and honestly, really more human. We're talking 10 tracks on this one, each probing technology, isolation, the future, and what it means to carry weight in a world that feels like it's breaking apart. So let's go track by track because this album really rewards a deep dive. Track number 1 is called Wraith. What an opener. The band wastes no time at all. Phil Monroe's guitars and synths weaving those ghostly layers, while Clark McMenamin's drumming locks in with surgical precision. And Andy Robertson's vocals, well, they're like a presence in the room, half warning, half confession. It's atmospheric, it's heavy, sprawling, and it sets the tone for everything that follows. You feel the dread, those questions of identity and of what lingers after us. It's a really haunting start. Track 2 is Replica, and this shifts gears. This one's immediate, it's almost pop leaning. There's catchy hooks, soaring vocal melodies. But don't think they've gone soft, oh no. Underneath the riff twists, the rhythms bite. It's the contrast that sells it. Brightness up top, shadows underneath. This is Ihlo showing they can be accessible without losing their edge. A real highlight. Then comes Source, track 3. Here things get misty, more electronic. There's pants, voices, those subtle clean guitars. It's like wandering through fog. Not every track has to hit like a hammer. But this one breathes, it gives you some space, and that restraint makes the eventual tension really hit that much harder. One of the album's most understated but essential moments. And now, track 4, full of ambition. Empire is a monster. Thematically, it digs into power and control. What happens when the very structures meant to protect us start crushing us instead? Musically, it moves in waves, quiet restraint building into huge, thunderous crescendos. And this is where you feel Ihlo's growth. They're not just stacking riffs, they're shaping emotional landscapes. Track 5, Storm, bam! The shortest track on the record, but don't let the runtime fool you. It's just like a spark in the dark, urgent, sharp, bristling with energy. Rhythms snapping, vocals pushing forward, and it just, as quickly as it arrives, it's gone. It's a bit of a jolt in the middle of the record. But the real heart of the album is track 6, Mute. This is one of the emotional cores. It starts in whispers, soft synths, gentle builds, and then it blooms into something cathartic. That duality of despair and hope is so clear here. The way the guitars, synths and drums interlace feels like a release, like letting go. One of the strongest cuts, hands down. That last track, Mute, this bleeds perfectly into Cenotaph. Now we're in elegy territory. It feels like a memorial both for the world outside and also for the inner self. There's quite a mournful beauty here, and the band absolutely nail that push and pull between rise and fall, breath and silence. Now, if Legacy has soul, Cenotaph is where you hear it crying. Track 8 is Ha. It's moody, it's drenched in a foggy atmosphere. The name fits. It feels like being swallowed by mist. The pulsing rhythms, washed out guitars, reverb stretching into the horizon. This one feels like aftermath. Like looking around when the storm has passed, trying to take in what remains. Track 9 is a title track, and this is a statement piece. everything builds to this. It's layered, it's dramatic, it's emotional. Andy's vocals here reach their most powerful. There's a guitar solo that just slices through the mix. Visceral, cutting, unforgettable. This track asks the big question, what do we leave behind? And he answers it in the only way Prog knows how, through sheer scale and intensity. Finally, Signals, the closer, and Ihlo resists the temptation to rack it all nice and neatly, but instead we start small, clean guitars, gentle textures, and it grows, slowly, patiently, like a message being sent out into the void. But here's the sting. Not all signals are welcome, and by the time it ends, you're left unsettled, haunted, and very much wanting to go back and start the journey again. So, where does that just leave us? Well, Legacy isn't just a good album. It's a clear statement. It's cohesive, daring, and it doesn't settle for the easy path. The production is sharp, the songwriting is mature, and the emotional weights really are heavy, sometimes unbearably so. If you love prog that doesn't just show off but actually means something, this is an essential lesson. And that's the thing. In 2025, prog metal has plenty of flash. Bands racing to be the most technical, the most theatrical, the most, well, whatever. But Ihlo instead chase meaning. They remind us that heaviness isn't just about volume. Atmosphere can be devastating as well, and that melody and darkness can coexist in uneasy but powerful harmony. Legacy doesn't reinvent prog, but it doesn't need to. What it does is remind us why prog matters in the first place, not just for the sound, but for the soul. So, go listen, my friends, get lost in it, let it haunt you, because Ihlo have just proven that they're not just promising anymore, they're the real deal. Bottom line, Ihlo's legacy is proof that prog's not just alive, it's evolving, and it's dangerous. Crank it loud, let it take over, and then tell me, did it wreck you like it wrecked me? Because this thing does not mess around. Drop me your thoughts, favourite tracks, moments that hit you hardest in the comments. And if you're new here, stick around, we've got plenty more deep dives into the albums shaping 2025. Until next time, I'll see you all later.